everybody, Dr.S here. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. So, today's show, for some reason, it's a little fuzzy on my audio, so please disregard that. But I was able to have a conversation with Paola Robinson, who's all the way in Switzerland, and maybe that's why it was a little bit fuzzy. But we were talking about the power of retreats and using travel as transformational learning and as a transformational experience. And what I love about this episode is that a lot of my clients, because many of you are coaches and online entrepreneurs and influencers, and you really love engaging with people face to face as well, in addition to doing all of your beautiful online programs and your work. And so I don't do retreats at the moment, even though that may be something in the future that we explore. But what I love about talking to Paola with Fem Travel is that her whole business is built around doing these transformational retreats, mostly in Europe. And so I wanted her to kind of give some tips so that if you are thinking of adding retreats onto your business, some things that you can think about. So I think you're going to find some nuggets in this episode. Feel free to share it. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Welcome to the She Heals the World talk show with Dr.S, the place to hear stories of heart-driven women creatively living free. Our episodes highlight conversations and insights that support the values of self-care, creative and personal freedom, slower living, happiness, health, and wellness to help you live your absolute best life. To be a part of the movement and join the conversation, step inside our free Facebook group, She Heals the World, and say hello. It brings me great joy to bring you our next episode.
How did you get started with your travel retreat conference business? Tell me all about the beginning.
All right. Well, I started blogging in 2015. 2016 was when I actually launched MissAdventure, and that literally just took off. I started connecting with other women, building a community. I loved it. And actually, the idea was that I loved it so much that I wanted to connect with you guys face to face. So this is how I actually started the retreat business. Yes. So I had a little bit more than 10 years of successful corporate career. I worked in marketing in various roles for companies like Unilever, Microsoft, eBay. So some very good names.
So what did you think you were going to be doing when you grew up?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I always used to say that I would love to be a businesswoman. What that meant, I don't think I really understood. But I remember starting even as I don't know what I was, 11 years old, selling some sweets that I got from like my parents or for my birthday. I started selling them in small packages in front of my home, and I actually made some nice money.
So you always were an entrepreneur.
Seems so. I kind of forgot it then when I went to the corporate world, but now it's coming back.
Can you bring us through that journey of how did you go from a corporate career to quitting and deciding to launch a business to now having hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram?
I literally don't know. It seems a bit unreal for me as well. It's not something that I think about in like my daily life. But I think what really helped was that it was a feature portal, so to say, and we have 2 million of tags if you look under Fem Travel. So this is how I treat it. But I have actually 2 or 3 other Instagram accounts. One, which is then connected to my company, is called the MissAdventure. And the other one connected to the festival is called I Am MissAdventure. They're not that big. But I think I think really the landscape in 2016 and when everything this started was a little bit different and maybe not so crowded as today. So it was also much easier, I would say, to reach relevant audience.
Yeah. Well, I can say that that's a beautiful accomplishment, and I'm quite sure a lot of women are looking to that and saying, "Well, she did it, so maybe I can do it too." So, as you
Would
were,
be my honor if I can inspire anybody, to transform their life or to follow their dreams. That would be a huge honor.
so tell me about the hurdles that you may have overcome when you were first getting started. Like, what were some of the challenges, and what did you do to get over those humps?
Oh, there were so many. Literally, I think the entrepreneurship world, it's just a very different world, and nothing is certain. You don't know actually what tomorrow brings. So you kind of learn to live with this uncertainty in a way. There are so many surprises along the way that you just need to tackle. For me, it was, as I mentioned, I really did everything myself from the very beginning. So I learned how to design a website. I learned what it means to have an e-shop. I learned really what are all the requirements for user experience, how to design newsletters, how to do all the social media posts. Should I maybe invest in paid social media posts? And all of these questions that, you just start out, so you don't have answers to. And then at the same time, I think a biggest learning for me was also you have to manage not only your business or maybe your team, but you need to manage yourself and your time and your energy um, equally. Because for the beginning, for me, it was my business is everything. I just wanted to flourish. I invested. If they would have 100 hours, I would invest 100 hours, and nothing could stop me. I couldn't really stop working. Um, but along the way, I really realized, you are the driver of your business. So first and foremost, you need to watch about yourself, about your health as well, about your energy levels. And yeah, this is something that I can definitely recommend to everybody. You learn a lot. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about business and everything that comes with it. I would say also you learn a lot about people.
Yes.
Yes,
Well,
I think you understand.
yeah, I totally get it. I mean, some gurus are known to say that opening up a business and starting your business is like the best personal development workshop you could ever engage in, because you learn so much about who you are and about how you show up and your weaknesses and your strengths. And so, if nothing else, building a business is awesome for personal growth. We can say
Oh,
that.
yes, absolutely. So if you want to grow and you can deal with a little bit of uncertainty, then definitely this is something that you should try.
Totally. Well, a lot of our listeners are health coaches or online course creators or some other kind of leader or influencer in the personal development space. And I know they're really interested in launching retreats or starting retreats. And so, can you tell us about your first retreat? Maybe what was that like, and where did you go, and who was involved? And then kind of bring us up to today with what you're doing.
Yes. So, well, throughout my career, I really had the benefit that I organized a lot of events. So everything, think of from smaller events to corporate parties to corporate events to large scale conferences with 1,600 attendees. So I kind of already had a very good grasp of the event business, and as I told you about marketing. So this helped me tremendously. My first, and I personally, I was known for planning all of the travel for myself and my partner, but also for my family and friends. They started asking me for tips and tricks because I was just like a little walking encyclopedia, just because personally, I find a lot of interest in that, and I would always research the best places, and I have a full list of places that I want to see, almost anywhere in the world. So I started, that's how I started, also with Fem Travel and MissAdventure and featuring, and it was a little bit like an inspirational platform for me. And that grew, obviously. And the first retreat that I organized was in my hometown, so in my region, Istria, Croatia, in 2017. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And that was the only retreat I did that year, but 2018 and now 2019, I launched many more. And next year we plan, for example, India. We are repeating Morocco. I'm launching a reboot yoga desert retreat. We are going again to Croatia. And there are some other destinations that are maybe on the list, like Uzbekistan, Iran, and Iceland. But this all depends on my time, because one thing you will notice is that it definitely needs a lot of time, planning, and organization. I think being on such a retreat with women that you have not met before, in a country that you have not maybe been before, is already transformational, because I had so many women reaching out to me after the retreat or during the retreat, saying that this has been such a wonderful experience for them and that they have learned so much, not only about the country, but also about other women, about themselves, and also from me, because you can imagine we have a lot of time to talk. And we go through literally, I would say, all the topics that you can imagine. So when you put, I would say, different backgrounds of women, when you put different cultures together, automatically there is an exchange and there is a learning, and you learn also a lot about yourself, because traveling in a group is not necessarily easy. There are some things that you need to conform to and fit into the group. So your needs are not always, I would say, a priority.
Do you feel like that doing retreats are going to be profitable for them to start off with, or would you have waited to do retreats until later on in your business once your online courses and everything else was going? What would be your advice to those women?
It's a very tricky one. You don't have to have a large following or, I don't know, traffic to start your retreat business. But you need to be mindful of the investment, as well as both in terms of money and also time, but also where your business is going. If you want to do retreats per se, then this can be a very nice way to earn either like a main profit or some supplementary addition to your earnings. But it has to be done right. It's definitely not an easy business. So you need to market the retreat pretty well, like position it pretty well. And but yeah, that said, definitely, why not?
So, what has been your greatest win, Paola, in your business so far? Like, what are you really, really proud of?
For me, literally, it's connecting with other women, and my customers. They became my friends. I'm still, small, and it just means so much when I get those either tears of joy or thank you messages, or that I have in a way transformed their life. That's for me the biggest win, and it's also the biggest reward. It reminds me every day why I'm doing what I'm doing, and that I'm on the right path.
Mm. And if you could give your 10-year younger self any piece of advice, what would it be?
Oy. Yeah, just do it. Start small and think, and don't think where it's going to lead you. Just one step at a time. I think sometimes we get overwhelmed with the I would say the vision where we want to be versus where we are now. But just literally just do step by step and see where that takes you in a year. And I'm sure it's going to be a nice journey. You will definitely see the progress.
And I'm sure, like, when you were in your corporate job, you never even imagined you'd be able to quit and be in your business.
No, definitely not. It's something I honestly didn't plan. It happened, and I took the chance. I took the risk as well. And 1 year later, this is where I am.
Well, that is super encouraging for a lot of the women who are in jobs that they're not happy with, and they dream of traveling or doing transformational workshops or retreats or gatherings, and to see somebody who's doing it and doing it well, I'm quite sure will be a big motivator for them. So thank you so much for sharing your story. Tell us, how can our audience find you and support your work?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram. If you want to join the retreats, that would be _MissAdventure. If you would love to join the festival, that's I am MissAdventure. If you want to get some travel inspiration, that's Femme Travel. And you can also look us up on website, which is themissadventure.com. And I think that's about it.
Thank you so much, Paola, for coming on and joining us today. I can't wait to have you back on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, there you have it. Thanks so much for listening to the show today. And as always, for more resources as you continue to live out your beautiful mission of healing the world and grow your beautiful business, you can head to www.shehealstheworld.com/freebie to see what new resources I have in store for you. Thanks for listening. Tell a friend, and I can't wait to see you at the next episode.